It is a journey through the Bible with Mukhwana Isaac, and I want to thank you for always keeping track to these episodes. Yesterday, we looked at God's covenant with His people. Today, I want us to look at the ceremonies of the covenant. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. God ordered 2 days of preparation before the ceremony of solemn agreement be made. The people prepared themselves with washing ceremonies. On the morning of the third day, the mountain was covered with thick clouds and smoke. There was much thundering and lightning, and the cloud uh, also had a loud noise as that of a trumpet, probably the noise made by the wind during the storm. And God came down on Mount Sinai. The people were afraid at this great sight and noise. Moses only was allowed to climb the mountain. In this way, God made the people understand that He was the most holy. Moses went up the mountain, and God made known to him the laws that the people must keep as their part of the covenant. There were religious laws, of course, the Ten Commandments. We also had social laws for regulating their their dealings with each other. And of course, liturgical laws for carrying out official worship of God. Moses returned to the people and told them of God's commandments. They all promised to obey them. Actually, we saw this yesterday in Exodus chapter 24, verse 3. All the many commandments, laws, and rules that the Israelites had to keep might make us think that religion in the Old Testament was something difficult and unpleasant, a sort of spiritual slavery. But this was not the way that the Israelites looked on these laws. They were glad to be given laws, for to have laws was a sign in those days of obeying a nation. In receiving these laws, Israel felt that at last they had really and of course truly become a nation. And so to show that they intended to carry out their part of the covenant, the Israelites offered sacrifices of bullocks in thanksgiving. Moses poured half of the blood into bowls and the other half on the altar of sacrifice. He then read out the law of the covenant, and the people listened to the promise, listened to those laws they had promised them, and they listened to them. They promised obedience to what God had asked of them. And so Moses sprinkled them with the blood of the sacrificial uh, lamb and the animals they had sacrificed, and said, "Behold the blood of the covenant which the Lord has made with you in accordance with all of these words." Exodus chapter 24, verse 8. To the Semite peoples, blood was a principle, the source of life. And so pouring this blood of the bullocks on their altar, which represented God, and then after the law had been read and accepted, sprinkling more of the blood upon the people showed a communion of life, a union between God and his newly made people. And before the covenant of Sinai, the Israelites had felt themselves to be just a wandering group of Hebrews. And after the covenant, they realized that they had become a people, a nation. That is why tomorrow we shall look at God making Israel his people, his own chosen and holy nation. God, in whatever we've just looked at, he had made Israel his people, his own chosen nation, and the holy ones. I want to thank you for being part of this journey through the Bible today, this episode. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Be blessed.